Even before David Irving was suspended, the Dallas Cowboys were rumored to be trading for All-Pro safety Earl Thomas of the Seattle Seahawks. But now that Irving will miss the first 4 games of the because he violated the NFL's substance abuse policy, some critics wonder if the Cowboys will trade for a defensive tackle. It's a good question, and SportDFW.com site expert Carl Daly wrote about the possibility of the Cowboys trading for a defensive tackle. Then Carl wrote another article asking should the Cowboys trade for Tampa Bay's receiver Deshaun Jackson. It's a good read that makes so much sense, considering the Cowboys don't have a caliber receiver like Jackson the roster. On a larger scale, the New England Patriots considered trading All-Pro tight end Rob Gronkowski to the San Francisco 49ers. So why not talk to Jerry Jones and see if he wants a replacement for Jason Witten? Right now Dallas would have to be interested in Gronk if he was available. At the end of the day, the Cowboys could use the services of either Jackson, Gronk, Thomas and many others, so my question is will the Cowboys make a major trade to upgrade the team? Since Irving's untimely suspension, his second consecutive suspension to start the Cowboys have to find his replacement, and a trade might be the best route to go. But this team could still trade for a veteran wide receiver and tight end, maybe a safety, too. In reality, the Cowboys sit in a good position, just depending on how you view it. On the one hand, Dallas can stand pat and not make any trades at all. On the other, they have the resources, need, and cap space to pull off a major haul if they need to. Point 3 technique position. That's because this team has the luxury of shuffling its defensive line. For example, Dallas could use either Jihad Ward, Coney Lee, or Maliek Collins to play the 3 technique position. If Dallas decides to use one of their own players, Collins is the best fit to play the under tackle position. In fact, Collins recorded 5 sacks during his rookie campaign playing the 3 technique position. If Dallas decides to make a trade, they could trade for the players Carl suggested in his article. Those players are Michael Brockers of the Los Angeles Rams and Malcolm Brown of the New England Patriots. Dallas' 3 technique position would skip a beat if they traded for Brown. The man is a beast in the trenches. Wide receiver area. Agree with Carl in that Jackson is a speedster and will require a double team, unlike any of the receivers on Dallas' roster. Although I'm content with Dallas' receiving core, I'd have no issue if the team decided to trade for Jackson's services. Jackson is a former Pro Bowler, has blazing speed, runs crisp routes, has good hands, has a high football IQ, HES tough, and help boost the aerial attack of the Dallas offense. Trust me, Dak Prescott would never outthrow Jackson on a go route. I still have flashbacks of Jackson absolutely killing Dallas secondary. I agree that if Dallas were to trade for their former nemesis, they should ship Mr. Inconsistent Terrence Williams to the Bucs for Jackson. Problem solved. Tight end. If the Pats are going to trade Gronk, then Dallas should be a willing trade partner because they lost their own future Hall of Famer tight end when Jason Witten unexpectedly retired. We all know Dallas doesn't have a proven tight end on its roster, only a handful of promising players with potential, like Rico Gathers. Dallas could trade for Gronk and give up only a second-rounder. That's it, nothing more and nothing less. Besides Gronk's injury history, the ultra-talented tight end is well worth the risk. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation. Listen, if Dallas can deal with the Mr. Do-It-All Sean Lee missing several games they sure can deal with Gronk's injury-prone history. Gronk's presence alone makes the Dallas offense more potent than ever. With Ezekiel Elliott and the dominant Dallas offensive line, the question becomes who can stop the Cowboys' ground game. Once again, opposing defenses will have to pick their poison, stack the box and get burned for a 2 count by Gronk, or play dime coverage and watch Zeke run for 800 yards and 5 2 counts in one game. Plus, Gronk fits into Dallas' offensive scheme because he's a really good blocker, a red zone threat, and the youngsters can learn from his wealth of experience. All I'm saying is I'd rather see Gronk wearing the star instead of playing for another NFC foe, especially in the NFC East. In conclusion, the reality of the situation is that Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Jason Garrett have to decide whether this team is already a Super Bowl winning team. It's that simple. If Jericho feels like it is and would rather develop its young players in the process, then there's no need to make a trade and stunt the growth of its players. I don't believe that's the case, but if the front office feels as if they're a player or two away from competing for a Super Bowl, then Jerry has to trade for that missing link. If that's the case, then Jerry needs to pull the trigger on a meaningful trade like he did almost 26 years ago when he traded for troubled but talented Charles Haley. And the rest is history.